start with John Sauber with the Center Daily Times. Go ahead, John.
Hey, John, how are you?
Hey, man, how are you today?
I'm doing good, thanks. When did you first notice in practice how good Arnold Ebiketie could be, and what did he do that sort of jumped out to you?
Well, obviously, when you watch this guy's tape from last year, against at Temple against
recording in progress
against some of the competition, he was dominant, and then having the chance to work with him in spring practice. I remember for me, my eyes were open the first time I saw him work through the bags, and I saw how quick he could pick his feet up and get moved through the bags, and his acceleration and bend coming out of the bags. That was impressive. And then I recall the first time he went one-on-ones against our guys in full pads, and you saw him get off the ball and how much ground that he made up quickly and was able to bend and lean. It was impressive. So, I mean, it doesn't take very long to see that guy's athleticism and to see his explosiveness. So, we had an idea early on that this guy's pretty explosive, because he had shown flashes of that, on tape last season, and then, working with him through the bags, doing athletic agility stuff in spring practice. You knew this guy had some juice to him.
Let's go to Greg Pickle of Blue White Illustrated.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
How you doing? Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Hey, sticking with the defensive ends, another guy that played well, I think, or at least it seemed to on Saturday, was Nick Tarburton, who had to overcome quite a bit to get on the field prior to you getting here, and then also, obviously 2020. So what kind of growth have you seen from him, and just how impressive has his career arc been to get to this point of being a starter, recovering a fumble at Wisconsin, and really making an impact on that game?
Nick has, ever since I've been here, Nick's been that type of glue guy that you got to have in your program. My hat's off to Andy Mutton and his staff, and Dwight Galt and his staff on getting Nick healthy and getting him strong where he's feeling good. And Nick, if you watched him in spring practice, and then throughout fall camp, you kind of anticipated the guy that was going to be who he is for us this year. How physical he was. He was in the right spots, and you're not going to find a harder worker on this football team than Nick Tarburton. I mean, Nick's right up there with PJ and all those guys on how hard he works, and he prepares the right way, and he's a technician at his craft. So, it's been incredible to watch him bounce back from the injuries and things that he had earlier. And like I said, hats off to Andy Mutnam and Dwight Galt on getting him back. And he's been fun to coach. He does everything as you ask. He really, really works at it. He provides leadership, on our football team with how he practices and conducts business. And like you said, I mean, think about it. He had some big plays in the game with the fumble recovery, and he almost had an interception as well. And just, the motor plays that he makes, tackling guys and stuff like that. I mean, he's had a great impact, but it's been incredible and great to see him bounce back.
Let's go to Audrey Snyder with The Athletic, and Rich Scarcella, you're on deck.
Hey, John, thanks for your time today.
Hey, Audrey, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
I wanted to ask about a guy we haven't seen yet, Hakeem Beamon, listed at 256. I mean, is the plan for him to still be inside, outside? And what else can you kind of tell us about some of those younger D tackles that we haven't seen a ton of so far?
Well, the thing with Hakeem right now, I think, as Coach Franklin said, he's unavailable right now. So I'll talk more about some of the younger guys, like Kazai Izzard is a young guy that that it continues to get better and better. He's growing and in our system, and I think he'll I think he has the opportunity to be a great player for us. We like how he's progressing. For Toma Moba's another young guy that we see that's progressing and becoming more and more comfortable in our defense. He's probably one of the strongest guys in our group. And, like we do, Audrey, this is a long season. We're going to need all those guys to continue to grow and develop because at some point, during the season, you're going to have to count on those guys for heavy minutes or a bigger role because that's just the nature of playing in the Big Ten and playing Power 5 football. Another young guy that's starting to come along for us, as well as Amin Vanover, who continues to get better and practice and continue to learn the system. Zariah Fisher is another young guy that we're excited about. That they continue to grow and continue to develop the way we need them to. I think you guys saw more of Devon Elise this last game. You can see some of the growth and development that he's had in the system as well. So we got some good young guys, and we're going to continue to bring them along because their number's going to get called this year, and they're going to be counted on to help us and play big time minutes for us and be very valuable for us. Same thing. It's kind of like you watch Smith Filbert too, is another young guy that's coming along, and you continue to see him develop and grow and continue to get better. We're excited about that group of young defensive linemen, man. Those guys are coming on.
Let's go to Rich Garcella with the Reading Eagle and Corey Geiger. You're on deck.
Good morning, John. How are you today?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you, man?
I'm all right, thank you. John, Jesse Luketa, how would you assess his play Saturday at end? How much work did he get at end in camp? And how hard is it to juggle those two positions?
Well, I would say this about Jesse, man. He is a heck of a football player. I think Jesse is extremely intelligent to be able to do what he did on Saturday, to play defensive end. A lot of people don't realize the technical deals that goes with that position with eyes and footwork, and then be able to flip a switch and go back and play Mike linebacker where your eyes are different, your techniques are different, and then you're doing different things within each of the plays at those different positions, man. You got to be number one, a super talented football player, but number two, extremely smart. And I think you guys saw Jesse Luketa play the game Saturday at both positions on a high level. So I'm super impressed with him. And, I've coached in the NFL, and I haven't seen many guys in the NFL be able to flip a switch like that. And so it's extremely impressive. Jesse has put the work in. He practiced for us at that position in fall camp at DN and, at linebacker. So he's got work doing it. So when it happened on Saturday, he was ready to go. And, but to me, it's been super, super impressive watching that young man be able to do that. That's special. You don't see that often.
Let's go to Corey Geiger with DK Pittsburgh Sports, and Donnie, you're on deck.
Hey, good morning, John. Penn State has always been able to rotate a lot of guys in on the line, keep everybody fresh. What's your confidence level of being able to do that right now and not have much drop off? And how long might it end up taking as the season goes on to be fully confident in bringing a lot of guys in and out?
Okay, I think I got the gist of that. It kind of like went in and out. So if I'm not answering a specific part of the question, just hit me again because you kind of went in and out. I think I know what you're asking, but Penn State has always rolled guys. They've been always blessed here with a plethora of defensive linemen. And, one of the things I do like to roll guys. I think as we continue to go on and on through this season, I think you'll see more guys continue to roll more and more. And that's kind of how it is a little bit when you got a younger group of defensive linemen behind them. You got to continue to make sure they're ready and We talked in our room and on this team about, earning the coach's trust by showing it in practice. When you have your opportunity in the game, showing it in the game, and those guys are earning our trust, which allows us to roll and feel comfortable playing more guys at key moments in the game. So we will continue to build that. And these guys are out here working their tails off. So I think as we go along, you'll see a whole plethora of guys rolling in and out because we want to have that ability. And I think with today's college football, you have to be able to roll enough guys and keep guys fresh. Did that answer your question?
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go to Donnie Collins and Mark Brennan. You're on deck.
Morning, John.
Good morning.
How are you? How much better can Arnold get? How is this just the tip of the iceberg for him? And in what ways do you think he could really improve as the season progresses?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously Arnold can get better. We all can get better. I think what you guys saw on Saturday was how explosive, and you saw his athleticism. But there's always things that we can work on. There's things that we could be better at with our technique, or we could be a little bit better with our eyes. And I think as he continues to get comfortable with what we're doing on defense, and that your technique, you get really comfortable with your technique, and you have that athleticism, then I think you can really see this guy just continue to skyrocket the way he is. But he is doing a really, really good job, man. He's doing a really good job. He's a good learner. He studies the game. He goes out and practices the right way. AK doesn't say a whole lot. He comes in the building with a big smile, but when he steps out on that grass to practice, man, it's competitive. It's 100%. So as he continues to work through the little details of the schemes and stuff, I think you'll continue to see him get better and better.
Let's go to Mark Brennan with 247 and Elton Hayes. You're on deck.
Hey, John, thanks for your time today.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Hey, what did you think about PJ's play on Saturday? How many snaps did he play? And it looked like he made a pretty athletic move there on Brisker's pick. To be able to do that late in the game, what does that kind of say about him? Thanks.
You know what? I was very impressed with PJ's play. I thought that he did a really good job just play in and play out of consistently striking his man on key, consistently being disruptive, whether it was knocking his man on key back in the backfield or getting off a block or just his extra effort. I thought it defined, I felt like, how we were playing that game on Saturday, the way he played. And it was from the opening pop to the last pop that he was in the game. I remember the last drive. I think they had been in like 4 plays. And I said, hey, man, do you need a blow? You want to come out? And he looked at me and said, heck no, coach, I'm good. And so I think, number one, Coach Franklin's done a great job, just the program that those guys had, and Coach Galt with getting them in great condition right there. I mean, those guys I didn't see any drop off of PJ from the first snap to, I don't know how many snaps we had in the game. I think 90 something. We still were striking the same way. So that says a lot about our strength conditioning, the nutrition program, on getting those guys right. But I thought he was a dominant player. And, if you would just see how hard PJ has worked this summer with just putting in those extra hours, just working on the finer details of his craft, it all manifested itself. I felt like on Saturday, you could see those things he was working with.
Let's go to Elton Hayes with CNHI, and Tyler, you're on deck.
Hey, John, how are you doing this morning?
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Hey, realize that you're in your second year here, Coach, and Saturday is going to be your first time at Beaver Stadium with like full crowds, the full Beaver Stadium Penn State experience. Besides an obvious win, what are some things that you're looking forward and you're expecting? Well,
it's crazy that we're actually saying that, but you're right. So I'm I'm like the rookies. I have no idea how how it works out, or getting off the bus and walking through the tunnel and all that kind of stuff. I have no idea. So I'm excited. You know, when I took this job, that's all people talked about was, man, you're gonna feel the game day environment here. You're gonna feel the crowd. You know, you're gonna feel State College. You know, from Thursday on, it's gonna be great. And so obviously, you know, to me, that's a part of the game. You know, we say all the time that I'll never take for granted having fans and having the community at the game, because it's such a big part of the game. And, you know, last year when we played through what we did, that part of the game was missed. So I'm excited to embrace all of that. I think it's Nittanyville and all that kind of stuff going on. That's awesome. Just having the communities and everybody locked in. But, you know, again, this will be my first time going through it too. So I'm looking forward to it. I know our players are looking forward to it. They're appreciative of having the fans back in the stands, and, you know, riding the blue buses over to the stadium and getting ready to go and compete in front of a packed house. So I'm excited. I'm excited about this opportunity for our guys, and, you know, newbies like myself. I'm excited to experience that.
We got time for a few more. We'll go to Tyler Donahue with Lions 247, and Dave, you're on deck.
Hi, John. Great to hear from you this morning.
How you doing this morning, man?
Doing great. Thank you. If I could circle back to Jesse Luketa, can you kind of go back to those earliest conversations during the offseason when it got serious that the staff was going to use him in this way and he was going to embrace that? What were the challenges? What were the natural fits? And why did it make sense for all parties involved?
Well, I mean, you know, Coach Pry and those guys that, you know, kind of talked with Jesse earlier just to see where he was at. And we had a conversation. And, you know, we're always about getting your best players on the field. And, you know, Jesse would always come down and work with myself, Coach Barnes, and get pass rush. And, you know, we noticed that this guy could really rush off the edge, and he was quick. And, you know, he looked a lot like the DNs that we had. And, you know, he was all for whatever helped the team. And so when you get a guy with that kind of attitude, that's open to do whatever is good for the team, and he has the skill set to play both positions, to me, it was a no-brainer. So he jumped all the way in and learned the position and learned how we do things at DN, while working hard at linebacker as well. So, I mean, he just brings all that value. And if you know Jesse Luketa, he's one of the most competitive people. You know, I spoke earlier about how intelligent the young man is. I mean, it just all worked well. You know, we've been very fortunate that worked out. But man, we were super excited about what he does and what he brings to the table. And, you know, when you got guys like Jesse and Brisker and PJ and Castro Fields and guys like that, Ellis Brooks leading your defense, that are your hardest workers, and that are intelligent players like they are, man, it just trickles downhill. So, you know, Jesse was all in. He jumped all in. You know, he's just been so unselfish, and I couldn't be more impressed with his attitude and how hard he works at it. Very proud of that. Was very proud of him, and he can do some special things for us this year.
And we'll close things up with Dave Eckert, Blue White Illustrated.
Hey, John, how you doing?
You're great. How are you?
Doing good, thanks. I wanted to ask you about your other transfer there on the defensive line, Derek Tangelo. Just curious what you thought of his game on Saturday and what his next steps are.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Congo came in and did a nice job for us. You know, really solid in the run game, and he just brings he's another calming force. A guy that's played a lot of football. You know, he's been through the fire down in the ACC, and he just brings a calmness. He's a very business-like approach. He works hard at it, and man, it's been great having him, because he provides good leadership as well. and I thought he had a very, very solid game, his first game in a Penn State uniform. And again, as he continues to get more and more comfortable with what we're doing on defense, I could see him just continue to keep trending upwards. But overall, it was a good first game for him.
All right. Appreciate you, Coach Scott, and appreciate everybody joining us today. Take care.
Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a safe weekend, man.
Thank you.